Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Dylan, DW3 Ball, making a pretty informative video today on just a lot of opinions on different things going on in the hobby, what my takes are on the different sports, the different markets, where I think cars are going to go, etc., etc. So this video is going to be super full of information. I'm going to cover football, then baseball, then basketball, then soccer, then talk about the overall production and market cap of cards. So football, I think, is a decent time to buy right now. I think it has about a 10% rate of going up before nationals. I think everything across the board could shoot up another 10%. Fantasy football will get things hot when people start drafting their teams. The excitement gets people in the buying mood to buy cards of the players that they draft on their teams. However, I think after that period, during the preseason, in the middle to late preseason, football cards will actually get pretty cold, pretty hard to sell, very just over flooding of people trying to sell football. And I think it may be hard unless you own cards of quarterbacks who will immediately start winning games and will put up good performances. So I would try to stick to quarterbacks that are going to start 3-0, 3-1. I know it's a big ask, but that's just what I would suggest you do to avoid losing money. So going to talk about a couple football quarterbacks. Going to talk about the 16 class, some 17 class, 18 class, 19 class, and 2020 class. So out of the 2016 class, Dak Prescott, he's coming back from his injury. He's full of offensive weapons. He could put up a huge statistical year, and they could possibly win the division because the division is pretty awful. Carson Wentz is also in this draft class. I think Wentz could be a good playoff candidate. He's in the only basic competition he's going to have this year is the Tennessee Titans, because Deshaun Watson is not going to play, in my opinion, because of this lawsuit. That takes us to 2017 with Deshaun Watson. I would completely avoid him. Everything with this lawsuit freaks me out. Who knows how long it could go? Who knows how many more allegations could come out? Who knows how long it could take? Who knows the judgments, the rulings, etc. Mahomes, I think, honestly, could be overpriced right now. He is no doubt one of the best throwers of the football I've ever seen. He is no doubt a Hall of Fame talent quarterback. But I just think if he doesn't win a Super Bowl this year, it's a huge ask to immediately want a Super Bowl from him with how young he is. But I think the league is really good around him. The Bills are really good. The Bucks are really good. There's just a couple really nasty teams that could easily upset the Chiefs, in my opinion, on their way. So for that reason, I think Mahomes could be honestly a little bit overpriced, even though I believe he's a Hall of Famer. 2018, Josh Allen, I think, gonna be another good playoff contender this year. They could do some huge things. They could also flop, especially if Allen gets hurt. They have a soft schedule at the beginning of the year. Besides the Chiefs, they may lose that game, but almost all their other games, I think they have a pretty soft schedule. So Josh Allen looks good. Lamar also has a soft schedule, but in general, I would avoid Lamar. I thought he could be a decent buy with a run-up, but honestly, I just think that if people see him during the regular season again, they're just going to think same act. Even if he's winning games, if he's passing for only 170 to 230 yards in that window and only throwing for 2 or so touchdowns with like maybe an interception a game, and even if he's rushing for 80 yards, I just think people will get sick of that. People want to see quarterbacks with 300 plus, 350 plus with 3 touchdowns every week with 1 to 0 picks. And that's just the standard that we've been spoiled from Peyton Manning and Rodgers and Brady and Mahomes for so long. Baker. I think Baker's got a great shot to make the playoffs. And I believe in him more than I believe in Lamar as an actual thrower of the football. Lamar's elusive as shit and could win games. Baker has the better cast around him to win games. So their teams could both definitely make runs, but I would sell Baker after he goes up. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. So 2019, Daniel Jones. I don't think the Giants are going to win the division. They got a lot of offensive weapons. This is a make-or-break year for Daniel Jones. They got Galladay. They got Kadarius Toney. And they got a tight end whose name escapes me. Besides Ingram, I think. But, they set him up with an offense. This is a make-or-break year for him. He could be underpriced as a quarterback of New York. He could be overpriced if he's benched at the end of this year. And then Kyler. I personally am anti-Kyler, even though a lot of people I know love Kyler. I am personally avoiding. But if he starts off killing it and people start that MVP hype rumor, you never know, you might be able to make money. 2020, I would honestly avoid all of them. Herbert, Burrow, Tua, and Hurts, just because I just don't think any of them are going to be able to win that many games. Herbert has the strongest chance, and Tua has the strongest chance to win games. Very impactful on Tua's performance. Herbert's more gifted, obviously, more talented, it looks like, from what we've seen. But honestly, I'm avoiding all 2020 quarterbacks at this point for just being cautious that people will panic sell too close to the season and the window will be too small to sell and you could get killed by comps and not sell in time. So, baseball market. Recently, a big batch of probes seen high end just went off. A Vlad Jr. Gold, surprisingly, only sold 9,510, by the way. Bowman Chrome Auto only sold for $23,000. This is surprising. His blue 9.5s are up to $15,000. And if you think about multipliers and stuff, you would think the Vlad is at least 30 plus at that price. That a gold 9.5 would be at least double a blue 9.5. But it only sold $23,000, which is pretty surprising. A Soto Gold Bowman Chrome 9.5 just sold for $30,000. It was shilled. It was won by a Zero Feedback account. His prices are considerably down. In terms of baseball, I just think it's going to be hard to make money at this point unless two things happen. Or three or four things happen. A, you buy a guy, gets called up, kills it. Example, Wander. Starts off super hot, maybe even Julio Rodriguez. B, you buy a guy like DeGrom who could potentially win MVP and really solidify himself as a Hall of Fame candidate with this many years of DeGrominance, or a guy chasing the Triple Crown such as Vlad Jr. If he were to win the Triple Crown, I would hope for a bump in prices on him. At what he's at now, it would make a lot of sense. But who's to say? Never know how much stuff is up and where the market really settles. Things are only worth as much as people are willing to pay. But baseball, I think can be a decent hold for the next month. I don't think you're going to make too much money unless you get lucky on a call-up or big performance, huge hot streak, or a milestone. But, for example, Devers is hitting the hell out of the ball, and his refractor 9.5 is only $430, which I thought, even though this is a, meaningless card, not many people care about Devers, I thought that was cheap for the year he's having. He's only 24 years old. He's, hitting way better than a lot of the hitters in the league this year. $430 for a refractor 9.5 is like $50 higher than like a 17-year-old refractor 9.5 auto, like Eric Pena or someone like that, which I think doesn't make sense. But then again, Arenado's refractor 9.5 auto, who's arguably a Hall of Famer, only sells for $650, and Jason Dominguez sells for over $2,000. So nothing makes sense, but that's baseball. So some things are being protected by shilling. A lot of things have been getting relisted. Overall, baseball's been iffy. Now I'm going to talk about basketball. Basketball, I think there could be money made in a couple of ways. Maybe buying injured guys like Jamal Murray and Klay Thompson, or buying guys who just got eliminated in the playoffs, such as R.J. Barrett, Michael Porter Jr., guys like that, guys who are expected to take significant 20, 30, 40% dips over the next maybe 1 to 3, 4 weeks from now, maybe even going up into nationals. Basketball might still undersell. Might also be a good time to buy LeBron. Right now, a lot of people are down on him. You never know if the Lakers make some moves, deal some pieces away. They're going to lose Schroeder. They're going to lose, I think, Drummond, maybe a couple of other players. They might add someone. They might add someone big. Who knows? Healthy AD, healthy LeBron come preseason could be a very hyped team to make another run towards LeBron's tail end of his career. Just my thoughts. Other than that, basketball I would kind of avoid. A lot of guys who get mainstream attention, such as Zion, Luka, still semi-holding. I think there will be a little bit more of a dip. I think currently, as of June 15th, 2021, Zion silver PSA 10s are right around 3K. Luka silver PSA 10s right around 5K. They might have gone down even more after he got eliminated. I haven't checked in a little while. They probably have gone down. But those are pretty soft prices, to be honest, considering a couple months ago, Luka's were like 9K and Zion's were like 5K or maybe even higher than that, 55, 6. So that's that. Those are my thoughts on basketball. I don't know that much about basketball, so try to keep that one short and sweet. Soccer. So here's my thoughts on the 2020 soccer class. This is Jude Bellingham, Yusufa Mukoko, Jamal Musiala, and Eduardo Camavinga. So I think Mukoko, first of all, I just want to say, unlike last year with Erling Haaland and Fati was on a super team, Barcelona, obviously Messi, link. He was hyped as a super prospect, as well as Erling Haaland, who is just an absolute goal-scoring phenom all year last year, basically, for Dortmund. Unlike that class, this year there's no super prospects, in my personal opinion. But here are my thoughts. Mukoko, he's so young. He's only 16 years old. But I'm just afraid him and Bellingham, their cards are going to get flooded. They're going to have Topps Chrome Bundesliga, Topps Chrome Sapphire Bundesliga, Topps Chrome UEFA Champions League, and Topps Chrome Sapphire UEFA Champions League. And they might have Finest. And they might be in even more products like Merlin, and even who knows what's even going to come out with the amount of money Topps has been raking in from soccer products this year. And Mukoko already set an all-time high in Topps Now for having 50,000 Topps Now base printed, which is unbelievable. And in this instance, you got to think about market cap, how many cards are available, and how much demand really is there. There's going to be 50,000 Topps Now cards, and he's going to be in 4 different Topps Chrome products. He is a very young player with a lot of upside, don't get me wrong, but that amount of production is going to certainly drive down the prices of his cards over time, especially since he's hurt. I don't think he's going to play until September or November, or somewhere in the winter maybe. So until then, he's not going to have steam. His prices aren't going to go up. People may pay for strong graded copies of really like high-end stuff, but in terms of his prices, I just think they're going to fall across the board unless you get a couple of lucky undersales on release. I think that all prices are going to fall of Bellingham and Moukoko over the course of the year, basically, personally. Now, Musiala and Camavinga, a little bit different. And I know people are high on the guy Gravenberch, I believe his name is. I'm definitely botching that. Maybe not. Those guys, it's a little bit different. They have less of a print run. They're only in one product. So if any of them do very well and you have a lot of their Champions League Chrome or Champions League Sapphire, I could see it spiking up. So that's kind of a different instance on them. However, I'm personally probably going to avoid. I may buy Musiala Sapphire, but I'm worried about the demand side. He's also, none of these guys are statistical goal-scoring monsters yet. I think Moukoko has less than 8 goals, on Dortmund. I think Musiala has less than 6 goals. And I'm not quite sure about Camavinga, and I think Bellingham has less than 6 or 10 as well this season for Dortmund. So, just personally, I'm just avoiding most of this rookie class of soccer. I just don't believe there's any true super prospects, and I think the amount being produced is going to be staggering. Even though I do like Moukoko's talent and his club, and I like Musiala's club. So yeah. Next, I'm just going to talk about overproduction. So right now, obviously, the older you go back, the less rookie cards there were made of players. So obviously, like right now, we're in an overproduction era of cards. Justin Herbert had 3,800 different sets of rookies printed, which is an insane amount. I believe in the 80s, they had 1 or 2 rookies for guys. Brady maybe had 300-400 different sets. And Herbert is in 3,800 sets. Obviously, in some products like soccer, it's way different. There's way less sets. But just in terms of overproduction, basketball and football, I'll be very, very, very hesitant about buying Modern right now unless it's super short print or super low numbered from a super desired set. Basketball, NT. Football, Contenders or NT. Other than that, I don't know. Or Prism Color, maybe. Other than that, I don't know. Everything else I would avoid. It just doesn't seem smart at this current moment. And that's all I got to say for now. So this is a super long video, 18 minutes. Thanks for staying the whole time. Drop any comments below. Feel free to DM me on Instagram, DW3Ball, if you have any questions, or comment them down below. I'll try my best to respond as many as possible. And thanks for watching. See ya.